Fox 61 News at 10 starts now.
First at 10, we are on the weather watch for the coldest air that it pretty much gets around here. Coming up, we're going to talk about the timing and what you need to know to plan your day coming up.
Right now at 10, following breaking news as criminal cases are dismissed for educators accused of failing to report claims of sexual abuse. We have the new developments tonight.
Also, one Connecticut town is coming together after a deadly hit-and-run crash. How the victim is being remembered as the state sees an alarming increase in pedestrians killed in crashes.
And concerns tonight about a proposed increase to tuition at UConn. We'll tell you about the proposal and hear from students about why they say it's too much. But we start things off here at 10 with a weather watch alert as an Arctic blast is on its way to Connecticut. Good evening. I'm Ben Goldman.
And I'm Jen Bernstein. Thank you so much for joining us. We are bracing for some extreme temperatures. We're talking about dangerous cold over the next few days. We want to get right over to Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank for a first check on the forecast. Rach.
Yeah, we're talking about wind chills ranging anywhere from 15 to as much as 30 degrees below zero, with the peak of the cold air in place for Friday night into early Saturday morning. Luckily, kids do not have to wait at the bus stop Saturday morning because it's the weekend. But that's why there is a wind chill watch in effect for the northern half of the state from Friday into Saturday. So we're on the weather watch all day Friday into Saturday for sub-zero wind chills at times through that stretch. Again, the coldest will be Saturday morning, not only with those wind chills with winds that could gust up to 30-40 miles per hour, but also with sub-zero temperatures heading into Saturday morning. Not even considering what the wind will be, the actual thermometer will drop below zero. So that's the National Weather Service's way of just saying, you know the drill. You've dealt with cold like this before, but limit the amount of time that you spend outside, exposed skin, and make sure you're keeping your pets nice and warm too, if possible. Bring them inside. No problems tonight. Temperatures are in the 20s to right around 30 degrees, and we'll see overnight lows dipping back towards the 20-degree mark as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. Tomorrow's a great day. Partly cloudy skies. High temperatures a little bit milder than today in the upper 30s to right around 40 degrees, and then those temperatures start to go into free fall on Friday. But this is a really quick cold snap. We'll explain your full forecast and looking ahead through the month of February coming up.
Thank you, Rachel. And because of those freezing temperatures, Governor Ned Lamont has activated the severe cold weather protocol starting tomorrow afternoon. Anyone in need of a warming center or a shelter can dial 211 to find the closest available facility near you. And be sure to download the free Fox 61 News app on your smartphone or your mobile device by scanning the QR code on your screen right now. You can use the Fox 61 app to help find resources to stay warm, as well as to track the very latest weather conditions right on your phone. Okay, we are following some breaking news tonight out of Plymouth, where the criminal cases have been dismissed against 4 current and former educators.
They were previously accused of covering up the sexual abuse of children by an elementary school teacher. Fox 61's Sarah Sanchez joining us here in the Breaking News Center with what we're learning about this tonight. Sarah?
Well, Ben and Jen, this update comes from a letter to parents by Plymouth Superintendent Brian Falcone. He says the legal process is complete for those 4 educators, and the school has finished its investigation. The criminal charges were dropped against Rebecca Holleran, Melissa Morelli, Crystal Collins, and former principal Sherry Turner. Criminal charges were dropped last month after they agreed to go through accelerated rehabilitation, and that's a court-ordered program for first-time offenders. They were accused of failing to report claims of sexual abuse against 4th-grade teacher James Eschert. Now, Eschert is no longer employed by Plymouth School District, and he's been charged with 2 counts of sexual assault. He has pleaded not guilty. In his letter, the superintendent says 2 of the other educators have retired. One teacher will be allowed to Plymouth Central School, while another will stay on administrative leave until further notice. In the Breaking News Center, I'm Sarah Sanchez. Ben, Jen.
Sarah, thanks for the update. New at 10 tonight, the family and friends of an East Hartford man killed by a hit-and-run driver gathered together tonight for a vigil at the site of the crash. He was hit near downtown East Hartford last month. That's where we find Fox 61's Gabby Molina joining us live tonight to tell us how he's being remembered, and also she has the calls to action following his death. Gabby.
Ben, it was 2 weeks ago that George Tetekweshi was hit and killed by a car here at the intersection of Main and Pitkin Streets. Tonight, there are some candles left here as a memorial after that vigil held by family and friends. But also here at this intersection, take a look. There is a letter here left by pedestrian safety advocates who are calling for change in the wake of his death.
Mr. George Tetekweshi was a brave man, very brave, very courageous, always ambitious.
70-year-old George Tetekweshi was born in Ghana, but called East Hartford home for many years. Still very close to his roots, he was an active member of Ghanaian organizations in Connecticut. Friends and family held a vigil for him Wednesday evening at the site of the hit-and-run crash that ended his life.
We had to be here at the spot where he was killed to perform. We are Christians, so we have to perform our Christian rite by holding a vigil for him.
And shared memories of the type of person he was.
He was a gentle giant, quiet, affable, very easy to talk to, and there is nothing negative you can say about this guy.
Tetekweshi was hit by a car at the intersection of Pitkin and Main Streets back in January. He lived nearby and walked these streets often.
He walked from that place every night and come and walk through here every night.
Safe Street advocates say it highlights the need to make it safer for pedestrians to get around.
So you have to get across Main Street, you would basically have to essentially pass two crosswalks. A crosswalk for this right slip-on lane, and then another crosswalk over here, which is basically 6 lanes of traffic.
Connecticut Urbanist has an initiative called the Street Memorial Project, leaving white shoes at the site of deadly pedestrian crashes, with the hope of bringing awareness to the tragedies.
Connecticut's built environment does not work for people who travel on foot, by bike, or public transportation,
so that no one else has to mourn losing a loved one in this way.
Kind of hit the community very hard.
East Hartford police say they have located the vehicle involved in this hit and run, as well as the driver, who they say is now cooperating with the investigation. Live in East Hartford, Gabby Molina, Fox 61 News.
All right, thank you very much, Gabby. Well, in Bethel, 2 people are dead from an apparent murder-suicide. Police say they were called to a home on Reservoir Street just before midnight Tuesday. Once inside, they found a man and a woman with gunshot wounds. The woman, identified as Tracy Marie Jones, died at the scene. Her husband, Lester Jones, was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The medical examiner ruled Tracy Marie Jones's death to be a homicide and Lester Jones to be a suicide. Members of the community say they're grieving the loss.
This is going to be rough for our community. Our community's been through a lot.
Well, police are still investigating what led up to the incident.
School officials in Granby say a student brought a knife to school at Wells Road Intermediate School yesterday. A note from the school's principal says that the student brought the weapon to school and showed it to some classmates and had a, quote, no ill intentions. She added that immediate action was taken once the weapon was reported and no student was in danger. Meanwhile, new at 10 tonight, UConn students are quite concerned about the rising cost of tuition.
Yeah, this comes as state funding for public universities has continuously decreased over the past few years. Now students and lawmakers want the state to make some changes to higher education. Fox 61's DeAndrea Turner joins us live on the store's campus tonight, where state leaders and students were talking about the issue. DeAndrea.
Well, you guys, the overall message at tonight's event was that state funding for public higher education, it's lagging, and they want the state to do something about it because they don't want their children or students to worry about not being able to go to college or afford it.
Education was a way to build knowledge. It was a way to build and grow as a person, but it was also a way to gain opportunity. That's what it is for me. That's what it is for so many people.
For people like UConn freshman Eric Mead.
So I'm a political science major. I've always been interested in running for office.
But he has 3.5 years left at UConn. Beyond the day-to-day task of going to class and studying, another thing on his mind is paying for college. Currently, 3 out of his 4 siblings are in college.
Conversations with my dad, he's trying to pay for it all, and he doesn't want us to have the burden on us when we are in school and once we're out of school of having to pay back these loans. So he's paying for what he can, but he's struggling because it's just the one income.
Now Meade, along with other students, are using their voices to fight for more state funding at UConn as tuition increases.
It's important now that in this prosperity that the state is in, that we reinvest back into UConn and back into Connecticut because it's vital for the state.
State Senator May Flexer and State Representative Greg Haddad have proposed a bill which would increase state funding for UConn by 25% as a way to alleviate the pressure of tuition hikes on students. Representative Haddad says that 26% of UConn's budget is coming from the state, which is much less than in the past years.
And so that decline in state support is what we're here to sort of say is wrong. We need to reverse that trend.
If this is truly an institution of public higher education, then public dollars need to be here to match that description.
Now, we did reach out to Governor Lamont's office to see if they have any plans to increase the state's budget for public higher education in this upcoming state budget. We are waiting to hear back. For now, in stores, Deandrea Turner, Fox 61 News.